Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas into clear, actionable insights. All right, let's dive right in with this quote, because this one single thought from a Reddit thread, it kicked off this huge conversation about a totally different path to entrepreneurship. A path that trades venture capital and late-night coding for real-world cash flow and actual, concrete services.
So here's what we're going to do today. We are building a modern blueprint for starting a real-world business. We'll go from the big idea all the way down to how you get those first customers, covering the opportunity, the operations, the scaling challenges, and the new rules of marketing.
Okay, let's get into it. What if the best business idea out there right now isn't some flashy tech startup? What if it's something way more traditional, something you might even call boring?
Look at this list. Car washes, landscaping, pest control. I know, it might not sound sexy, right? But here's the secret. This is exactly where the smart money is going. These are the kinds of cash-flowing, essential businesses that private equity firms are quietly snatching up. Why? Because they see massive value where most people just see, everyday work. And the timing on this is absolutely critical. We've got a whole generation of business owners who are ready to retire. This is creating a huge opening for new entrepreneurs. And think about it. You're not starting from scratch. You could be acquiring a business that already has real, predictable cash flow. And because these companies are so stable, you can often get them financed through a bank or even with a loan from the seller themselves.
All right, so let's say you're intrigued. You're thinking, okay, maybe a service business is for me. Let's break down just how accessible it can be to get started. And for our example, we're going to use a simple domestic cleaning business. Okay, look at that number, about 150 pounds. I mean, that's pretty powerful, isn't it? We're not talking about needing millions in venture capital. To get a business like this off the ground, you just need some basic supplies and, honestly, the drive to get out there and do it. And here's the thing. That first step, the business plan, it doesn't have to be some 100-page monster document. The key is just having a solid, simple plan. Think of it as your foundation. A clear, maybe even one-page guide that lays out your mission, your costs, and exactly how you're going to make a profit.
And that's the beauty of it, right? Unlike some super complex tech venture, the upsides here are immediate. They're tangible. You get to be your own boss. You control your hours, your money, your work, and all with way less upfront risk. It really is a business model that's built on simplicity and just getting things done.
Okay, so you've done it. You've followed the checklist, you're up and running, and business is booming. But here's the catch. Good brings a whole new set of problems. Let's talk about the first major scaling headache that almost every service business runs into. We're going to use vehicle routing as our case study here. So, picture this. You've got 5 drivers and 150 stops to make today. How on earth do you plan the routes? This is such a classic scaling problem. It sounds simple, but the answer is incredibly complex. And honestly, the way most businesses handle this, it's shockingly inefficient. It costs them an absolute fortune. They get trapped in what I call the Excel nightmare. Managers are burning hours. We're talking 2 to 4 hours every single morning just trying to map stuff out. And they're using tools like Google Maps, which has a 10-stop limit, or spreadsheets that can't account for live traffic or vehicle capacity. This manual process isn't just slow, it is wildly expensive when you add up that manager's salary.
Yeah, let that number sink in for a second. Over $23,000 a year. That's what it costs for just one person to spend their time manually planning routes. That is a massive hidden cost that is just eating away at your profits.
But here's the real aha moment. The absolute kicker. The shortest route, mathematically speaking, is often a total nightmare for the driver. It creates what people in the industry call a spaghetti route, sending them from downtown to the suburbs, back downtown again. It's infuriating, and what happens? The drivers lose faith in the plan, they start making up their own routes, and that ends up costing you even more in time and fuel.
And this is where modern routing software is a total game changer. It's smart enough to balance the pure math with, actual human psychology. It creates routes that are clustered geographically, that make sense, routes that your drivers will actually follow. And that is the key to saving money and having a happier, way more productive team. Okay, so your operations are running like a well-oiled machine. Now what? Well, you need a steady stream of customers. So let's pivot to marketing. Because the way you get those customers, it has completely, and I mean completely, changed.
You've probably seen this guy, Miles Laughlin, the pool guy. His story is incredible. He started posting these super satisfying videos of him just cleaning pools. and he blew up. Over 22 million followers. Now, 90% of his work comes from his online fans. It's the dream, right? Turning a regular job into viral content and building a huge business from it.
So, the big question is, can anyone just do that? Can you turn your business into a viral sensation? And while his story is super inspiring, the hard data tells a very, very different story for most businesses today.
And here's that sobering truth. Look at these numbers for organic reach. On Facebook, it's just under 6%. Instagram's a bit better at around 7.6. The reality is, fewer than 1 in 10 of your own followers will ever see your posts if you don't pay. But, and this is a big but, that doesn't mean organic content is useless. Not at all. You need to think of it as your free research and development lab. It's where you build trust, you create a community, and you test out your messages to see what actually works.
Because we're now in what's called the pay-to-play era. Social media isn't a free billboard for your business anymore. It's an advertising platform, plain and simple. So the modern strategy isn't choosing between organic or paid. It's doing organic then paid. You use your organic posts to figure out what content people love, your winners, and then you put ad money behind those winners to guarantee they reach thousands of potential new customers.
Okay, let's tie all of this together now. We've talked about the opportunity in these boring businesses, how to get set up, how to overcome those operational hurdles, and the new reality of marketing. It's time to build our final blueprint.
And here it is, the modern Main Street blueprint. Step 1, the opportunity. Focus on those unsexy but cash-flowing service businesses. Step 2, the foundation. Start lean, simple plan, low overhead. Step 3, operations. Use smart tech like that routing software to solve your scaling pains efficiently. And step 4, marketing. Test your content organically to find what works, and then use paid ads to show your winners to the world.
So, that's our explainer. The blueprint is pretty clear, isn't it? It's less about trying to catch lightning in a bottle and go viral, and a whole lot more about smart, focused execution. The plan is here, but the work is still hard. Which really just leaves one final question. What boring problem are you going to solve first?